Hello everyone. In this video you will see a crash test of a scale copy of the Toyota Supra from Fast and Furious that I made from plasticine with my own hands. In total, you will see 4 collisions. 2 in the front of the car, 1 in the side and back of this Toyota Supra. But before I smash it in a couple of minutes, I spent 2 months of work on its creation. I will show you my work on the car in detail. You can watch the entire creation process in a separate video, where I show the entire stage of sculpting, from the very beginning to the fully finished model. And I hope you will support my video with a like and a subscription. After all, to shoot this video, I spent a lot of time and effort. I tried very hard on this car, and I worked out a lot of details. I even molded the bottom and all the details like in the original car. I made the interior detailing as it was in the movie. I tried to make all the elements. Sporty blue steering wheel, black and blue interior, yellow frame, and nitrous oxide cylinders. Now, look at the engine. I also tried to make it look like it did in the movie. I made a lot of chrome elements, and all this from scratch with my own hands. I did everything by hand. I painted the inscriptions and the drawing with a thin brush, very slowly copying the original design of the car from the movie to create an exact copy. I made a lot of elements, so that the crash test and damage would look realistic, and so that this damage would be possible. I made the body parts of this car thin, which contributes to the deformation of the car body, as I have done many times before. And if you accelerate the plasticine car strongly into an obstacle, it will crash, resembling real damage to the car but on a scale. Since plasticine is a soft material, it does not harden over time. It can always be broken or reshaped. The first collision will be in a wooden block of a beveled shape like this. Similar blocks are used in real crash tests. Fasten your seat belts, we're about to start the crash test. This is what the damage turned out to be. The shape of this block was imprinted very well on the plasticine. The right side is completely broken. The wing is bent in half. The wheel is slightly damaged. The hood is bent in the middle. Its deformation looks natural, although it flew off during the collision. Apparently, I did not fasten it well. The body shows cracks from the paint in places where the parts are strongly bent. The bumper was very badly deformed at the point of the collision, although part of the bumper on the left side remained intact. Also, a piece of glass flew off the headlight due to such a strong collision. It turned out to make a very natural collision, and the damage to the car looks quite realistic. And here is how the engine was damaged. And here is what is underneath the car. You can see how much the front part was bent. Next, I want to make a collision into a flat wall. For this, I will change the block to the other side. In the cabin, due to such a strong frontal collision, the seats came off and leaned onto the dashboard. These are the results. We see similar damage, only they are a little strong. Here the wheel is bent much more, like the wing and bumper. Everything was damaged quite badly. There is a rupture of plasticine and noticeable cracks in the paint. The front part was crumpled to the engine, and the damage did not go further, since for this it was necessary to accelerate the car much more. From above we see that the left side was bent a little more, and the engine now received serious damage and it was tightly pinched. And this is how the damage looks from below. Here you can see better that the left side was bent more. Let's move on to the next collision, to the rear of the Supra. The damage to the rear part turned out to be like this. The plasticine bent in a zigzag. The hull remained round. It was not affected. A large gap formed where the trunk opens, and the rear light glass flew off. The damage looks as if another car crashed into the rear of the Supra. And here we also see cracks in the car's paint in places of strong bending. From above we see how much the rear part was bent. The spoiler also came off and flew off. The left part of the body looks intact, and the right one is completely broken. This is the shape of the rear part bent. Now we will make an imitation of a side collision with a pole. For this, I will replace the wooden block and install a rod like this, which will imitate a road pole. Wow! Just look at how the front of the car was destroyed. It practically came off. Because of such a sharp collision, the front part did not hold up. The strength was very weak after such head-on collisions. If I move the car now to inspect the damage, I think the front part will come off and even the engine will fall out. And look at how the side part is bent. The door is very badly damaged, and even the roof is slightly damaged. The car crashed into the center of the door. The pole reached the driver's seat. Now I want to cut off the roof and look at the damage inside. I make 2 cuts like this and remove the roof. And this is what we see inside. The door was bent very badly. The seat was pinched and slightly affected the steering wheel. I move the car and it is clear that the front part is barely holding on. It literally falls apart from touch. We remove the engine and internal parts to take the car in our hands. The front part is completely destroyed, so I remove it all. This is how the round pillar was imprinted on the door itself. It turned out to be a very hard collision, which finished off this car. And this is how the offspring look from the bottom of the car. The threshold was bent very much, but the speed of the collision was high. This is how the crash test of this Toyota Supra from Fast and Furious turned out. Of course, it was a pity to break such a legend. But I initially made it in order to break it, and the plasticine model is not very suitable for collecting. Therefore, almost all of them break with rare exceptions. If you liked this video and you want to see more such crash tests, like it and subscribe to my channel. After all, in order to break it, I had to create it completely from scratch with my own hands and spend a lot of time. I think it definitely deserves a like. Thank you all for watching this video. My dear viewers,